Hello, and welcome to another episode of Ringmasters. I'm your host, Alec Blante. Today we are here with former state wrestling champion, former professional MMA fighter, and current MMA trainer, Ozzy Avalos. Ozzy, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
So what got you into MMA fighting?
You know, at the time I was wrestling in college, and a lot of UFC fighters would ask me, hey, you know, can you help me train? I'm fighting a really good wrestler and my wrestling's not that good. So then I saw, hey, if I'm training them but I'm beating them up, then why shouldn't I do it? So I just kind of started seeking out different gyms, jiu-jitsu gyms, boxing gyms, and you know, just seeing who would give me amateur fights. And I started my amateur career, and I think I went 20-0 as an amateur. You know, and I went 9-2 as a professional fighter, so MMA. Wow. So you know, I had a good record.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you remember your first fight?
Yeah, I do. It was probably one of the toughest fights, and I probably learned the most from it. It was against a guy by the name of Jay Silva. He fought in the UFC. He was a Brazilian. He's tall, probably like 6'2". You know, we fought at 170s, but it was probably the toughest one I ever had because he would knock me down, I would knock him down, you know, and then I learned that if you don't go into a fight well prepared and in good shape, that's the reason I lost, because I ended up losing the fight, but I was winning the entire fight. And it was because of my conditioning. So then after that, I learned, you know, I got to take this serious because you can get really hurt. Like I got knocked out by a flying knee, you know, but I wasn't actually knocked out. I was just tired. Like when he kneed me, I went back and my head hit the canvas, and basically I was still conscious, but I was just tired, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah, for sure. Like you mentioned, preparing for a fight. Like, how do you prepare? Like, do you ever get nervous? Like, if so, how do you calm your nerves before a fight?
You know, it's funny because when you're backstage, you know, there's TVs, and then you see the other people fighting, and then you'll hear the boos and the ahs, you know, and there's, like, for example, you'll see people like go for a takedown or someone get knocked out, and then you see them walking backstage, holding their eye or holding their elbow, and then they'll be like, Ozzy, you're up next, you know, and it's kind of like, you know, I think once you get to the cage and that door closes, you're like, I'm already here, you know? But the best way to calm your nerves is just to be well prepared. Know that you put in the training, the running, the boxing, the rounds, you know, that you're confident in what you know. Right. If you see most of the big fighter names, you know, the reason they're so good is because when they're in there, they already know, like, hey, well, my boxing's good, my jiu-jitsu is good, my ground's good, and they put it all together, and it's just like, you know, you start getting punched, it's all adrenaline, you don't even feel it.
Yeah, just like basically like remembering how much effort you put in to get to this moment. Yeah,
basically.
So you were mentioning earlier you went from amateur to professional. Like, what kind of training did you have to go to become a professional MMA fighter? Yeah,
well, see, when I started, I was just a wrestler. You know, all I knew was wrestling, and I had to seek out like how I did it. I would go and be like, okay, well, who's the best jiu-jitsu guy in Orange County? And I would go to that gym, and what I would do, I would go with the best guy there. And just with my wrestling alone, I was able to, you know, manhandle them or control them, and be like, hey, Ozzy, come train with us. And I would go to a boxing gym, and the same thing, you know, but I would seek the best out, because I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna take it serious. You know, like I didn't take it serious my first fight, but after that, I learned, you know, I have to be able to learn everything. So I didn't just learn, I already knew the wrestling. I started with boxing, then kickboxing, then Thai, and then I went with the jiu-jitsu guy. And then I just put it all together, and it just, you know, it started working. You know, like I think I had 6 fights finished under a minute with just submissions, you know? So I did pretty good, you know?
Yeah. So you're a teacher, so what kind of process do you go through to train a fighter before they go into like their real fight? Like, what kind of training do you do, like anything you tell them?
Yeah, see, most of the fighters that I train, they're well established. Like the last one that I trained was Tony Ferguson, and he's the current UFC champion at 155. But I knew he was gonna fight Khabib, which he's a strong wrestler, strong grappler. He does sambo. He's from Russia, and the reason they brought me in because they're like, Ozzy, well, we know that you're a strong-based wrestler. You can hold me down. I've trained with you before. Yeah. So what they bring me for something special. Like, okay, well, we just need you for wrestling, you know. So basically, I watch tape. I look at what Khabib does, and what Khabib does, she tries to do a lot of singles and lift, and I mimic that. You know, I mimic what that fighter does so that I'm able to help my fighter. But most of the time, it's just, you know, what they bring me in for. Like, if they bring me in for it should, you know, be a hard puncher, then that's what I have to do, you know? But it's all up to them. They tell me what they usually want to bring me in for. You know, it's a fun process, but it takes a lot of work, you know? And I have to go and shit myself, so usually I have to drop like 20 pounds before I even go into, you know, so I can give them those rounds, because if not, I'm useless to them if I can't stay up, you know?
What's the fastest you ever, like, lost weight? Like you said, 20 pounds. How
I've lost 20 pounds in 1 week.
Wow. What was the?
Well, actually, like 3 days.
Wow, that's not healthy. What did you do?
Just, throw on some sweatsuits, a couple sweaters, no water, or just barely any water, just water and spit.
Oh, wow. Well, we have a video of you training some of your students, if you want to take a look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, see, this is just to kind of warm up. You just get your hands ready, get your timing ready.
Wow.
Right here, the mitts, same thing, it's all muscle memory. Just 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
It's basically all muscle memory. It's repetition, just like anything else. If you do it 1,000 times, it's gonna be like walking. You don't even gotta think about it.
Wow.
But all this is mitt, see?
Wow.
And then you walk with them also, because if you don't move around for them, you're not mimicking a fight. If you stand right in front of them, here's actually what I'm really good at, wrestling. He's a fireman's carry. This is it. Basically right here, he puts me in guard and I pass right away. I already know what he's gonna do. And see, that right there, I knew before he even did it what he was gonna do. And this is actually a side choke right here.
Huh.
Here passing the guard. And then right here again, see how I pass?
Yeah.
It's like I already know he's gonna do it, so I do it before he even starts.
Wow. Well, that was very impressive. Do you have any moves to show me that I can possibly try?
Yeah, I can show you a couple.
All right.
Yeah. So the one thing that I see people do the mistakes is not knowing how to walk before they throw punches. So if you get in your fighting stance, kind of like me, right? So let's throw a jab, just right, and then move back. Jab, right? Now come forward. Jab. 1, 2. Back. 1, 2. See, that's really easy. And all you're doing is little steps, walking forward, walking back, and your hands are always right here at your hand.
Right. Okay.
One more thing I can show you is basically a kick that I used to love doing when I would fight.
Okay.
So you can just stand there. So basically, I kick really hard at your ankle. I step out and I kick at the ankle there as hard as I can, right? The second time I do it again, but I only step and I look.
Right.
And when I step and I look, I kick up.
Like because the opponent is expecting you to hit
again.
So when they
but
go
you
down,
have to kick really hard. If you don't kick hard, then he's not gonna expect for you to kick down there again. The other thing, one of the takedowns that I used to love to do, it's called a redrop. Right. So you tie up. Get in a square stance like this. Okay. You lock hands with me here, right? Okay. The hand behind the head. Okay. With my left hand, I push the elbow up over his head, and I grab him here, right? Okay. And then I kind of drop down, and I pick him up. Okay. And this is really easy. Like I can walk with you, right? And then I put him down, right? And then you cover him. So that's called a redrop. Yeah. Right. The last thing I'm gonna show you guys, it's just a rear naked choke. Oh, okay. So if you got your knees real quick. This is real easy, all right? Anybody can do it. With my right hand, I put it around his neck, palm up, and then I put my other left hand out, and I grab my own elbow, or the crease of my elbow. I kind of slap my head, and I kind of take the top of a pineapple off. See that, how easy that is? So again, here, up, slap your forehead, and then kind of take the top of the pineapple. Doesn't take that much pressure, look. And that's probably one of my favorite moves I always did, it's so easy. Like if you do it right, they'll tap like that, That's about it. That's 4 different moves that you guys can use, and it's not that hard.
Well, thank you for that, Ozzy. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for today on Ring Masters. Join us next week when we have professional boxer Floyd Money Mayweather. Join us for the studio.
Thank you.
Appreciate
it. Yeah.
No problem.